I'm not going to introduce myself more than saying, I know performance marketing is harder than it's supposed to be. It's not needed to be. It's kind of harder. And I know that partnering with Snapchat has also not been very easy over the last few years. I'm going to look at this room here because that's where most of you are congregated. Well, look, we've been working very, very hard for the last 2 years. And that's why you're going to see us more out there and talking to you, because we've been building what we believe will actually work for you in the years to come. So I'm going to skip past a few things and go quickly so we can get you to food faster. We'll start with some numbers that you probably know about. 850 million people around the world use our service. You probably know that. About half of them use the service on a daily basis, which means you do the math, we'll probably get to 1 billion in a few short years. But maybe this you didn't, because I didn't either, until I asked my team. So I said, well, hey, how many of these people, because there are only so many people who use a phone and then finally end up using multiple apps, actually are not found in other services? And this is what the team came back with. 78% of US Snapchatters 16 plus today won't use Pinterest, all the way to about 37% of Facebook. Now, you will also notice there's a fair bit of overlap in certain platforms. I'm not going to name them. You probably are looking at one of them right now because of some of the news stories, and that's fair. So you'll see there's a lot of overlap, but there's also uniqueness in that audience that you wouldn't find elsewhere. And maybe you've had this question for quite some time. Well, isn't Snapchat the tool you use to reach Gen Z and millennials? Yes? Show of hands, how many think that way? Okay, well, you're half right. We are. We practically have apps installed in the back of the pockets of a lot of teenagers and above, and that's cool. However, 1 in 4 Snapchatters in the US is actually 35 years and older. Think about it. If you installed Snapchat when you were in high school, you're 25 plus right now. You're getting into your first jobs, maybe getting into more long-term committed relationships, looking into some more durable purchases. If you joined us in college, you probably are starting a family. All of these have a little bit more spending power as a demographic that you care about. Okay? But that's not all you care about, do you? You also care about gamers. How many of you care about gamers? I do. Okay, we're going to talk about a few of them. Well, not only do we have US Snapchatters, nearly half of them interested in gaming, they're also more likely to make in-app purchases. And some of this is not very widely known, because I will tell you, we don't tell our story that loudly from stages like this. So which is why we're back here and telling you what Snapchat is all about. But it's just me telling you. That doesn't really cut it. It never cut it with me when I was in these seats with you. Right? So let's hear it from actually a brand, a gaming app that's creating a lot of good gaming products right out in the market. Nexters, you probably know them. And they used Snapchat to actually expand into a new target audience with Android 7.0 optimization. And the results are really good. You get better installs at lower prices. You get better purchases at lower prices. All of this is not just happening on a one-off basis. It is happening on a daily basis, things that get me out of bed. And when it starts to happen and create a pattern, much like you, when you look at patterns, you want to talk about it just a wee bit more. But you're probably not just looking for app installs and 7.0 optimizations. Now you start to care more about app purchases. People who care about app purchases, where are you at? That's it? I'm going to ask this again. People who care about app purchases, where are you at? All righty, yes, thank you. I know we need some food and energy going, but we're going to try and get this done faster, okay? So if you're with me, we can get you to lunch much faster, okay? We are seeing 75% increase on a year-on-year basis on purchase-related conversions. And that's just not happening, again, on a platform-wide. Real businesses, real brands like yours are finding these successful stories. This one's one of my favorite. It's also because it's cookies. So Crumble actually used our 7.0 optimization here to drive extended ROAS, so 30% higher ROAS. But the efficiency then went straight both into install and purchase marketing campaigns for them, which is quite good, or as they would like to say, results just as good as the cookies. And I think I agree with that. But all of this is not just to say that, hey, we haven't had a journey to get here. Snapchat, at least until 2 or 3 years ago, post-ATT, was still pretty much a challenger brand on monetization. We had a lot of catch-up to do. And I'll be the first to admit, it was a lot of hard work. So for those of us who've been wearing the Snapchat badge for about 3 or 4 years, know that journey inside war rooms to sort of retool our entire ad stack. And we basically looked at 3 main things. One, we improved our machine learning. Basically, get bigger, better ranking models to show the ad to the right person at the right time to drive the right click for you. 2, we also brought in a privacy-safe manner your data to help you optimize on a real-time basis. Because without it, your campaigns are not going to perform at the level that they should. And finally, start building the ad formats and engaging ways of call to action on those ad formats to get you the results you care. And yes, each one of these 3 is important, but it's the work that we're doing in conjunction on all 3 that's finally creating these results. And we're starting to see that tide shift in a bit from a platform basis. So you probably missed this. I won't fault you for this. I missed it the first quarter I saw it as a blip, but it's been happening pretty darn regularly since then. We've been more than doubling the number of advertisers who are trusting their ad dollars with Snapchat. And so today, I'm going to talk to you about what that has meant in terms of features that's already out there for you to use, and what's coming next. The what's coming next isn't publicly available. So I'm going to have to ask you to put your hand on heart. No, I'm just kidding. You can take this too far. OK. Let's talk about a progress that we made for app advertisers. This is a slide I'm not going to read. It's boring as heck, isn't it? Just a lot of words. OK, I wrote it so I can say it. So we're going to talk more about one thing that probably jumped at you straight up, the advanced SRN solution with AppsFlyer. That is probably the single biggest change we have made on app advertising on our platform post-ATT. Because before this, we could really just report on dual opt-in users, right? And so this is what that looked like. As Snap's status as an SRN meant that we could only give you dual opt-in users when you were running your campaigns. And so that gave you a bit of a hazy picture on what that campaign really did, and maybe mucking up your performance measurement. So now, with advanced SRN, we can do both dual opt-in and opt-out users in aggregate, both for clicks and impressions data. This is available right now that you can use. But we didn't just stop there. We started using this for some of our advertisers. So an unknown brand, whose agency is right here in the audience, I'm going to thank you without naming you, started using this solution to say, what will that do? And I will promise you this is the only mention of my 5-year-old on the stage. The client came back and literally gave me what my 5-year-old does with me pretty much every evening. Oh, biscuits. Is this result really possible? So they asked us to double-check the math. And they asked AppsFlyer to double-check the math, too. And we saw the numbers added up. 2 thumbs up. The results are not just on a platform basis. It's translating into campaigns and data that you care about. How many of you here care about click-through conversions more than view-through conversions? Let's talk about post-2019 marketers. Where are you at? OK, some of them here. Nobody here? All of you care about view-through? No, you do. Great. So this one's for you. We've started looking at the 7.0 optimization that we created for web, and we moved that over into app side as well. So both for Android and iOS now, for install purchases, you can actually have 7.0 optimization for click-through, meaning you can see what happened post that click on your conversion data, on your return on ad spend, on your cost. But that's not all. How many of you started looking at ROAS as your North Star metric? Now, some of you? OK, great. And this one's for you. We started launching value optimization, which means we're not just going to go after clicks, but also clicks that get converted into higher purchases, either at a higher basket size or with more frequency, which means it's just a better return for the ad dollar that you spent. All of that is available to you right now. And finally, how many of you think more ad objectives and a cluttered ad interface is better than fewer ad objectives and a simpler ad interface? It's a trick question. None of you feel that way. This was an order moment for us. We're like, yeah, we looked at our own ad objectives. There were 12 of them. Too complicated. Too many screens, too many buttons to click. We're like, let's just simplify this for you. So now running ads on Snapchat is easier than ever before. I hope I've fastened up the pace of this conversation to get you to the fun part, but slightly quickly there. Let's begin the fun there. What's coming next? Because I'm sure that's what you care about more. First up, this is the piece that I'm personally most excited about, is sponsored snaps. 3 years ago, when I was joining Snapchat, I talked to my niece, who I will tell you was not on Snapchat because she's not of age to be on the platform. I asked her, what do you think Snapchat is? She said, isn't that just chat in a snap? I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. We should probably put that on our homepage somewhere. And that's right. But guess what? That part of our service wasn't available to you as businesses and brands. And now for the first time with Sponsored Snaps, we're going to bring ads into that core part of our messaging. Sponsored Snaps will allow you in Q2 to have that particular placement available in the auction in the lower funnel bidded goals. And it's going to start like this. Eventually, what that will do is it will allow your ad to be shown full screen to a person. You simply send them a snap. It shows full screen with your call to action. And then you can start a one-on-one chat with them. Text, image, video, it's up to you. And that's just the beginning of what we'll launch with this product. So we're very excited to test this. If you want to test this, please let us know. We'll start talking about that too. How many e-commerce advertisers here in the room? Did I hear a yes somewhere here? Somewhere there. OK. Yes, thank you. Well, this one's for you. You know product level videos work better than just images. So we're now testing product level video ads into our auction itself. So you can start using this to see if those campaigns perform better for you. But all of this would be for naught if your campaigns didn't give you reliable performance. And so with that view in mind, we're now extending our target cost bidding solution that we tested successfully with web advertisers with our app community. And it's pretty simple, really, since you've probably used this in other platforms. You tell us what you care about as a CPA, you give us the target cost, and we'll try to give you maximized volume for that within the SLA for that particular target. And this is all coming to you very, very soon. We also launched with AppsFlyer new particular engagement types for both engage view and click. Previously, you could only see view or click, and that kind of muddied the waters for you a little bit. Now you have a little bit more granularity in that reporting, and you can see whether the view or the click perform better for you. And you can have both of those views available for you in your reporting. But none of this would be fun if we were not also innovating on the consumer side. Let me see if this actually plays for you. I don't know if it does. And if it doesn't, then I'll just talk through it. We basically saw that the 5 tabs we have on Snapchat could be innovated and simplified into 3. The one where you talk to your friends and family, the one where you open your camera, and the one where you see content from your friends and family, but also your community, including creators. We've begun testing this in smaller markets, and we're starting to think through what the roadmap here would look like. But we're very excited because this is improving engagement as you might think it would. All of these systems will work in tandem to hopefully get your ad in front of the right user, get them engaged, and take the action that you care about. I'm not going to bore you with details on this slide yet, so I'm going to leave you with just a few bullets. But first up, the advanced conversion solution is already beginning to pave the way if you are on Scan. And we hope to be testing this with more of you soon. Second, we'll be creating scan support for app-level value optimization events. So even if you are running a non-scan campaign, we'll give you scan-level reporting data, just so you can make better informed decisions. On the iOS theme, but moving then straight into Android, we'll give you half details sheet page to basically allow Google Play to open straight into Snapchat, and that gives the user a little bit of seamless experience there. And then finally, hybrid bidding for all of you who care about in-app purchases and in-app ads to allow you to actually bid on both of those objectives at the same time. Well, look, I threw a lot at you. I was counting maybe 3,457 words were spoken from this dais. I don't know, maybe more. I'm kidding. But if there's one thing you remember, it is that we've been hard at work on the platform and Snapchat for the last 2 years, and we're ready for big business back again with app advertisers. And if you think you want to start talking to us, we have a special offer for you. And much like all form of marketing that I like, the lazy marketing, where you set it, you run it, and it works on its own, the offer will do the same thing. You don't have to do anything, except just to pay attention to your inbox. It'll come straight after the event in your inboxes, or you can talk to us right at booth number 6. With that, I thank you for all your partnership with us over the period of time, and there's more fun and magic happening over the next year or so. Thank you.